Now call to order. Andrea, would you please call the roll?
Good evening, everyone. It is 5:17 p.m., and as a reminder to all in attendance, this meeting is being recorded and live streamed on the county's YouTube page.
Oh, yeah, beautiful.
Calling the roll, Mr. Gallagher,
Here.
Mr. Schron,
Here.
Ms. Conwell,
Present.
Ms. Turner,
Present.
Ms. Stevens,
Present.
Ms. Simon, Ms. Baker's absent, Mr. Miller,
Mr. Miller?
Here.
Mr. Sweeney,
Present.
Mr. Tuma.
Here.
Council President Jones,
Here.
you have a quorum.
All right. Andrea, is anyone, at this time, let's stand for our Pledge of Allegiance. Andrea, is anyone signed in for public comment?
Yes. Matthew On.
How's it going, everybody? Good evening. My name is Matthew On. I am a visiting professor of law at CSU Law, newly renamed. Thank you for your support if you did support the name change. I'm here to talk about 2022-0007, the Justice Fund Ordinance that is on for second reading today. This reallocation of discretionary funding to a sort of mandatory fund to be spent on particular construction projects and renovations seems a little odd and unnecessary, especially given that it seems to be targeting only one pot of discretionary funding, right? And a lot of this, right, sort of stems from, obviously, we have had protracted conversations about this jail, and County Council has made their points relatively clear about where they see the process having gone south, potentially. It is interesting that this sort of seems to be coming back to the incoming county executive, who, of course, made a statement about the jail, but has not really, in my understanding, had a chance to sort of sit down with County Council about the jail yet. In addition, right, County Council members did, by and large, as a whole, make a relatively good point a couple of weeks ago. The person who is standing in the way of a potential reduction in the rated capacity of any new jail is not the incoming county executive, nor is it the county council, right? That person, if there is one person, is the current prosecutor. In addition, right, to the 34 Common Pleas General Division judges who make decisions on bond, right? It is just odd to me that this particular pot of money is being targeted, right? Especially since there is an assurance that, right, this ordinance doesn't spend money, but puts it into a different account. What will prevent the county council from then spending it on a different project if it sees fit in the future? I was in this room 2 months ago when the county council approved about $40 million in appropriations for further renovations for the Global Center for Health Innovation, a move that was criticized not only by Cleveland city officials, but experts and other commentators as well, right? And so all of this seems to not particularly advance the conversation, especially with the calls from county council to get our incoming county executive to the table and negotiating and understanding the issues in good faith. As a result, I am concerned about the kind of negotiating tactic that county council seems to be sort of pushing in this respect. And I would urge the county council to vote against 2022-007. Thank you very much.
Norm Edwards.
Good afternoon, County Council, Council President. I'm here today to speak on behalf of funds that have been appropriated for the Guardian Stadium and possibly funds in the future on the Brown Stadium. I I had correspondence with Paul Dolan on a number of occasions. I lobbied for city council members who were against the project and lobbied them on board because I was guaranteed diversity and inclusion on the project. That didn't happen. Once again, I'm down here again. We had proposals turned in with blacks and minorities on the teams, and they went and brought in a contractor, Mortensen, from Minnesota, that had no black or minority on their team, and I still don't know if they have any minority participation. County has given up too much money. We keep going in this same carousel. We keep, the Ferris wheel keeps going. It's Thanksgiving. I got a lot of family, a lot of friends that won't be able to buy a turkey, that won't be able to have a Thanksgiving because our tax dollars are not being allocated for the right purpose. All we're doing is making the white rich contractors richer and the blacks that they want to use after the fact, they're giving a couple dollars. Nothing. We are being used, we are being misused, and it's got to stop. It's got to stop. The crime is not going to decrease if we do not put blacks and minorities to work. I'm sick of coming down here. You'll be allocating money for the Browns, and I know everybody up there, they hate what I'm saying. I could give a care less. I'm for the people, and we are being mistreated, and our dollars should not be passed, and we be excluded from these projects. Those are our tax dollars. You guys are getting paychecks. We pay you. We're your boss. The blacks and minorities make up a large number of residents in the county, and we continue to be excluded from projects, just like Sherwin-Williams, now Progressive Field, and then it's going to go over to the Browns Stadium because they want to use Mortensen also, who hates black people. See, these rich white contractors want nothing to do unless you take $2. So all of the teams that had a black partner were excluded. And they ran this deal and brought somebody in after the fact at the last minute that had no diversity, no inclusion at all. This has to stop. I'm gonna do whatever in my power to file a lawsuit to stop whatever we can. We have lawyers looking into Sherwin-Williams now. We're gonna have lawyers looking to this Guardians deal. It stinks. It's a terrible deal. They are not doing the right thing. And I feel, everybody acts like this doesn't affect them. It affects everybody in this county. The crime will not go away. It's not going to go away.
I know, and thank you.
All right, thank you.
Maurice Rhodes.
Get 3 minutes.
Yes.
Integrity, the quality of being honest.
Mr. Rhodes, if you could just state your name for the record, please, and speak into the microphone. Thank you.
I wanted to use my 3 minutes for all of this. Mr. Rhodes, Maurice. Integrity, the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against the principalities, against the powers, against the rulers of this darkness. Ephesians 6:12. The central idea of my presentation is justice and civil rights in Cuyahoga County, Democrats. I proved in federal court that Cleveland policeman Officer Fine, badge number 1893, Safety Director McGrath, Police Chief Williams, and the city of Cleveland named defendants lied or perjured themselves. Yet federal judge Oliver said they win. The very essence of justice, law, of life is the truth. Whereas I submit to you the fact that there is no justice in Cuyahoga County. There is no civil rights. There is no integrity. Not for me. However, there is evil, deception, and the ungodly. I am still a slave. Stole my $14 million. The Cleveland police are corrupt. They promoted Officer Fine to detective. He lied, perjured himself. And now, what, he gonna tell the truth? He a detective? No. Courts are corrupt. Judge Oliver says what's wrong is right. The lawyers are corrupt. Assistant Director of Law, Wesley Snipes, knowingly submitted false statements to the court, and now he gets to work, gets to be a lawyer, but you disrespect me. You say that my work is not good enough. I'm poor, $14 million. Who gonna stand up for me? Beyete Eme Zulu. These Zulu words mean hail, the children of Zulu. Hey, look, thank you very much for hearing me out. I hope you consider me.
Lou?
Good evening, everybody. Well, it is the time we have to stop all the wrongdoings to put more people in jail, into the poverty, into homelessness. After we heard the great stories, the facts, not fictions, from Mr. Gallagher, and we really learned a lot. So today, I will follow the suit to tell you a story which you were blocked to know. 2016, May 4th, Health and Human Services and Aging Committee meeting had a public hearing for the HALE. The next following year, 2017, May 4th, for the one-year anniversary, I attended a different meeting, which was at Adamsport. The then CEO, Mr. William Donahan, told us in this meeting that at least the next decade, probably before 2010, Frontline Service went to Adamsport to ask for the funding to fix the leaked roofs for the HALE. At that time, Adamsport still had a good funding source and other resources. So he suggested, how about we use 2-year cycles to make another funding for the shelter to have a brand new buildings, which will be easier to maintain, easier to repair if there's any situation happens. Plus, the configuration, everything will be designed for people to stay in there. Guess what? Frontline Service said no. So the leaking roof did not really get repaired until 2016, that rare funding I have mentioned to you. So this is the truth. It has been the truth. The HALE, that building, should have been demolished and repaired, but nobody wanted you to know. And I'm only the stupid one coming here, holding the microphone, as Mr. Strong said. Why? Because I thought all the lives in this county are valued. Even if right now you are in hardship, you will have a chance, just like everybody else, to come back up, to still contribute to society as the way you have been and you want to be. But now, people in poverty in this county all got ripped off. We cannot even have a humane living conditions inside of a shelter. We have been denied food, just like county jail. Bologna sandwich has mold, just like county jail. So please remember my New Year resolution back in 2019. Please move the shelter operation into the new county jail whenever you want to build it. Or you can actually look at the records and help us out for us to have something to say. Demolish those two buildings, 2100 and the Hale, to rebuild. Thank you very much.
That concludes the public comment portion for today's meeting.
All right, thank you, Andrea. At this time, can we have a motion to approve our minutes as presented on the agenda?
So move.
Been properly moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. At this time, we'll entertain a motion to excuse Councilmember Nan Baker from today's meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. At this time, messages from our county executive.
Thank you, Mr. President. Several months ago, you all approved a small business stimulus grant fund. The purpose was to help small businesses that are looking to grow, especially minority-owned businesses. Our Department of Development and the National Development Council are managing the program. They're working together. 2,800 businesses applied and were reviewed by a 13-member committee. In the coming weeks, awards of $10,000 to $50,000 will be awarded to more than 70 small businesses in 24 different municipalities. A variety of industries will be supported, including food services, educational services, healthcare, manufacturing, retail, transportation, and others. For example, a bakery in South Euclid will buy a cooking machine and a cake mixer. A landscaping company in Bedford Heights will buy a new lawnmower. And a daycare center in Lyndhurst will use funds for field trips and for a new sensory activity room for autistic children, all of which are designed to help these companies grow. During the last 3 years, we as the county have invested more than $14 million to support more than 1,000 local businesses. Small businesses create most of the new jobs. So we, all of you, have been very supportive, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
All right. Legislation introduced by council. Consideration of resolutions of council for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution 2022-0416, awarding a total sum not to exceed $250,000 to the Village of Mayfield for the Civic Center ADA and Energy Efficiency Upgrades Project from the District 6 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
This item will be referred to the Community Development Committee.
Resolution 2022-0417, adopting various changes to the Cuyahoga County Non-Bargaining Classification Plan.
This item will be referred to the Human Resources Appointments and Equity Committee.
Resolution 2022-0418, adopting various changes to the Cuyahoga County Non-Bargaining Classification Plan.
This item will be referred to the Human Resources Appointments and Equity Committee.
Resolution 2022-0419, approving the Metro Health System Year 2023 budget in accordance with Ohio Revised Code Section 339.06D, with the understanding that the allocation of county funds to the system has been made through adoption of the 2022-2023 biennial operating budget and capital improvements program for 2023.
This item will be referred to Committee of the Whole.
Resolution 2022-0420, approving the Metro Health System's policies and procedures to participate in one or more joint purchasing associations for the purpose of acquiring supplies, equipment, and services provided through joint purchasing arrangements in order to achieve the beneficial purchasing arrangements for the year 2023.
This item will be referred to Committee of the Whole. Committee reports and consideration of resolutions of council for second reading.
Resolution 2022-0391, awarding a total sum not to exceed $89,642.27 to the West Shore Council of Governments for the purpose of purchasing new and replacement equipment for the West Shore Technical Response Team from the District 1 and District 2 ARPA Community Grant Funds.
This item will move to the December 6th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2022-0392, awarding a total sum not to exceed $1,500,000 to the City of Brook Park for the Brook Park Central Campus Green Storm Project from the District 2 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
This item will move to the December 6th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
And at this time, Councilmember Gallagher has requested that he be a sponsor on this item.
That Councilman Gallagher's name.
Thank you. Resolution 2022-0393, awarding a total sum not to exceed $100,000 to the Rose Centers for Aging Well for the Rose Centers Meals Programs for the District 2 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
This item will move to the December 6th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2022-0394, awarding a total sum not to exceed $97,170 to the City of Lakewood for the Alternative Fuel Circulator Feasibility Study from the District 2 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
This item will move to the December 6th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
And at this time, Councilmember Gallagher has requested his name be added as a sponsor to this item.
Councilman Gallagher's name.
Resolution 2022-0395, awarding a total sum not to exceed $43,015 to the Journey Center for the Safety and Healing for repairs and upgrades for the Emergency Domestic Violence Shelter from the District 2 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
This item will move to the December 6th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2022-0396, awarding a total sum not to exceed $750,000 to the West Park CAMS Neighborhood Development for the Old Lorraine Connector Project from the District 2 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
This item will move to the December 6th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
And at this time, Councilmember Gallagher has asked that his name be added as a sponsor to this item.
That Councilman Gallagher's name.
Resolution 2022-0397, awarding a total sum not to exceed $150,000 to the Bail Project, Inc., for the purpose of hiring an additional bail disruptor from the District 11 ARPA and District 8 Community Grant Fund and the general fund made available by the Rescue Plan Act, revenue placement provision.
Mr. President, could you add my name to this, please?
That Councilwoman Stevens' name. At this time, we'll have a presentation from
Council President, good evening, Trevor McClure, County Council staff. In your packet, there is a proposed substitute to increase the dollar amount from $150,000 to $225,000. District 7, Councilwoman Conwell has requested $50,000 from District 7. ARPA allocation be included in this award, and Councilwoman Meredith Turner from District 9 has requested $25,000 from her ARPA allocation be included in the total award for a new amount of $225,000.
Mr. President.
Yes, Councilwoman.
I just want to thank my two colleagues for supporting this. I truly appreciate it. Thank you.
Have a motion to accept the proposed substitute.
So move.
Second, Simon.
Is there any further discussion on, again, the proposed substitute?
Mr. President,
Yes.
I want to echo Councilwoman Simon's comments. This is such an important program, especially since we don't yet have a strong bail reform here in the county or in the state of Ohio. And this project does go some distance to helping people who shouldn't be in jail, don't need to be in jail pending their trial. This helps them get out. So thank you, everybody on council who supports this. Thank you for the additional funds.
All right. And I will point out that I've added 50 of what's already on our agenda as well to this project, as it's already been stated. This is important. This is something that we can do as just one element of the criminal justice system. Those that we have custody of, those individuals that we have custody of who by the letter of the law are innocent until they have had their opportunity for a trial. We are doing what we can. And I'll describe this almost as we're nibbling around the edges, and all we've done from central booking to diversion center to our bail project here in front of us today. And we look to continue to work with all of our partners at state and local levels who can get to the core of the challenges that we have in terms of true criminal justice reform. So again, this is something I certainly support as well. Is there any further discussion? If not, all those in favor of accepting the proposed substitute, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Now, this item will move to the December 6th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption. Consideration of resolutions of council for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2022-0351, awarding a total sum not to exceed $250,000 to the West Creek Conservancy for the reclamation and adaptive reuse of the former Haydite mine from the District 6 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt.
Second, Sharon.
Thank you. I'm going to defer the comments to my colleague Sharon, but want to say this is a very interesting, impactful project, and I appreciate you bringing it forward.
Thank you. Interesting, I'm going to speak to both 351 and 356 because both were supported by the mayors in the selection committee for these. And what makes them interesting is that one was an abandoned mine that had Haydite being mined from that right in our central part of our county, and it was no longer a item to be mined. So it made a lot of sense to say, okay, environmentally, what can we do to reclaim this? The mine is being flooded, so it's making it back into a lake, and it's making it access. And then on the one side, you've got that being an environmentally attractive way of reuse, and then 356 is the other end of the spectrum, which is using the newest technology to actually convert a waste treatment plant out in Chagrin Falls, where it's being covered with solar panels and solar arrays and collectors out there. So it's interesting to see when people talk about environment, they sometimes only look at one point or the other, but here we have two ends of the spectrum that both have a positive environmental impact. So I would encourage my colleague to support both 351 and 356.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2022-0356, awarding a total sum not to exceed $250,000 to the Village of Chagrin Falls for the wastewater treatment plant green energy efficiency improvement project from the District 6 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt.
Second. And as I alluded to, this is using state-of-the-art solar panels to actually to be maybe perhaps used as a model for other sewer and sewer treatment plants as to how they can actually use the solar arrays to power their treatment plant. So I would encourage everybody to support this one also.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2022-0361, awarding a total sum not to exceed $50,000 to Environmental Health Watch for the Fresh Fest Cleveland Urban Farm, Food, Arts, and Music Festival from the District 11 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt. Thank you very much. This matter was heard in the Environmental Committee last week, and I asked for your support. This money will go toward a festival that's put on actually in President Jones's district for food justice, for people to come together to get fresh food, a lot of vegan options, and really bring health to the community. It's a nice event, and I wanted to sponsor this because it combines racial and social and food justice in one place. So I ask for your support.
All right. Again, thank you for this, Councilwoman Simon. And again, it is in my district. It is a fun event. It is a well-attended event. And in the heart of a food desert, it is a well-needed, a much-needed event. So again, it's something I am happy to support. And again, I ask for my colleagues' support as well. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Mr. President, could you
Yes.
add my name to that?
And let's add Councilwoman Stevens' name.
And at this time, we'll be adding Council President Jones's name as a sponsor as well.
Yes.
Resolution 2022
President,
Yes, Councilman.
I would like my name added as well.
Let's add Councilman Miller's name.
Thank you. Resolution 2022-0373, awarding a total sum not to exceed $50,000 to the Cleveland Clergy Alliance for the Stop the Violence Project from the District 10 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
I move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, this legislation was fully heard in the Health and Human Services Committee on November 2nd. Community stakeholders presented the benefits to the city of East Cleveland on the need for stopping the violence in all communities. I ask my colleagues for their support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Mr. President, I would like to add my name.
Add Councilwoman Simon's name.
Resolution 2022-0374, awarding a total sum not to exceed $100,000 to the Journey Center for Safety and Healing for general operations from the District 10 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, this legislation was also heard in the HHS Committee on November 2nd. Director or CEO and President Melissa Graves presented, and I would open it up to my colleague, Mr. Miller, if he would like to expound on it.
Mr. Chairman, this one is not in my district.
This one was mine.
Oh, sorry. Councilwoman Stevens.
Domestic violence enters many homes, unfortunately, and we never know where it's going to be, and we sometimes don't know what the identifying factors are until it happens. Journey's mission is to make sure that families and children especially find a place of safety so that their mental health can be reestablished, but their operations are slim because it's not one of the first things people think about funding. And so with this $100,000, we will make their operations more stable and work to help them find more ways to raise money over the next couple of years to stabilize their operations.
And thank you, Councilwoman. They have been cut VOCA funds, so I think this is over the years as well as other organizations. But been on this council for 12 years, and I think I brought it up in committee that it was only 45 beds available for those that are experiencing domestic violence since I started in 2011. And we have not increased. We actually went backwards to 41 to expand to be able to accept children. So as we move forward in the new with the new executive, this is something that's going to definitely, has always weighed on my mind and heart, that we need to expand those beds, because if we do not have the specific beds for people that have already been traumatized in their own home, then they go to a shelter or wherever that we have available, and that's just not right. So I asked my colleagues to roll up their sleeves, and we need to be creative about increasing. My goal was always 100, and that's far less than what is needed, but from 41 to 100, I asked my colleagues for their support for the funding that they have today, and I did say to Director Graves that we would be sitting down and having a conversation. So thank you.
Mr. President, I want to thank the sponsors of the legislation. I want to point out that the Journey Center also provides a place to have supervised visitation. So cases pending in juvenile court, in particular, where there's a need to have supervision, Journey takes them, and there's no other place anymore that does that. And it provides this essential service to the parties and to the children primarily. So thank you. And my name, I want my name added.
Let's add the Councilwoman's name. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2022-0375, awarding a total sum not to exceed $129,420 to the City of University Heights for the Cedar Road resurfacing project from the District 10 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
And, Mr. President, this was heard in Public Works, and the mayor from University Heights came in, discussed it thoroughly in open session, and I will defer to Councilwoman Stevens if she wants to say anything further.
This is the infamous corner that caused me to become the slush fund queen. So, I have no choice since the other party is printing my name or using it in volume in social media. I would say that I do the best I can for the communities I'm elected to serve, one of which is University Heights. At this intersection, it is in a low and moderate income census tract, and it was going to be a census tract where they used less impressive materials that met the building code of the state of Ohio because they were running out of money. And so it was my decision to offer them this as one of 3 options. This was the easiest one to get to council, and therefore I became the first of the slush fund queens. The rest of you joined me in weeks later. But hey, I will never forget this corner. I've sat on it now that the work has begun, stood on it, and laughed at myself for the fact that, we all have character building moments as public servants. So without further ado, Mr. President, I'd like to move this forward to the body so maybe they can call me a slush fund queen too.
Mr. President?
Mr. President.
Yes, Councilwoman.
Thank you so much for leading in the slush fund journey for all of us. But I just want to point out as well that this road connects to South Euclid, and it was actually a joint project between University Heights and South Euclid. And if this could not get done in University Heights, it really would have stymied the whole holistic project that we were actually contemplating. So I appreciate.
I was just trying to save the moment.
It's a regional project. It benefits everybody. Taking that road, Cedar, down from South Euclid down to University Circle is a huge traffic pattern street, and I support this. Would like to add my name, and will be the.
You'll be my slush fund buddy?
Yep.
Okay.
The princess.
Oh, Princess, thank you for joining me.
Sorry, we're a little slap happy.
Might as well have a sense of humor about this stuff.
Mr. President and my colleagues, I attended the committee meeting where this was discussed, and the case for this project was compelling. It was a highly leveraged use of a relatively small amount of money that allowed a very urgently needed and important project to go forward, and out of support for the Councilwoman's strong and far-sighted action, I would like to add my name as well.
All right. Council Miller is right. It is an excellent project. The dollar amount is reasonable, and I look forward to supporting it as well. So I'm going to add my name to this project as well.
Mr. President, can I add my name since it leads down to University Circle where everyone needs to shop?
Mr. President, if I could be so bold to ask the sponsor to add my name as well?
That Councilman Sweeney's name as well.
Turner as well, Mr.
Turner.
President, yeah.
Open the
Support
floodgates.
queen
All right.
and the princess.
Gallagher.
If Councilwoman is the slush queen, I'm not sure what they would call me, but please add my name as well. Thank you.
Oh, you're a king, dude. You're a king.
Mr. President, just
Yes.
a point of order here. I don't know if everybody saw the graph from Lucas from Cleveland.com, and it showed all the collective projects of County Council. It was quite impressive. Infrastructure, municipalities, and I will point out that my colleague Tuma had his own line, so you will forever be remembered.
Dude, you're going to exceed me?
It's a good graph, actually, because it shows the richness and visionary projects that we all have added to this county. And you build up a county from bottom to up, and that's what we've done. I'm very proud of all of you for everything we've done, so thank you.
I just want to say to my colleague, but they skipped District 7. They always do.
What? No, I'm sorry, conversation.
Mr.
All right,
President,
thank you.
I'd
Army?
like to,
County
I'd like
Executive,
to-
you have the floor.
I'd like to stand with council and add my name as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Executive.
Armin Budish's name. Excellent, excellent. All right, if nothing else, legislation, we will move on. Item 10, legislation introduced by the executive.
Council President, I just want to make sure, can we do the overall vote for 0375?
Thank you, thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. This time, legislation introduced by the executive, consideration of resolutions of first reading adoption under suspension of rules. Can I have a motion to suspend the rules?
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All in favor of suspending the rules, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, the rules are suspended.
Resolution 2022-0421, amending the 2022-2023 biennial operating budget for 2022 by providing for additional fiscal appropriations, appropriation transfers, and cash transfers.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, my colleagues, this resolution is the regular agenda of budget amendments. Answers to our questions to OBM are on your desks. The items are mainly routine, relating to appropriation of grants, protective services, chargeback space, maintenance, reconciliation, appropriation of capital projects, transfers to realign personnel expenses, and distribution of levy funds for regular budgeted services. 3 items are notable. First, $15.9 million is being appropriated to cover overtime costs in the sheriff's office. As we saw this afternoon, the 2023 budget update is being adjusted to reduce the need for such large corrections in the future. $2 million is being added for additional personnel costs in juvenile court, and $150,000 is being appropriated for emergency veterinary services and medical supplies at the dog kennel. I recommend passage on first reading suspension.
All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Consideration of resolutions for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution 2022-0422, amending the 2022-2023 biennial operating budget for 2022 by providing for additional fiscal appropriations, appropriation transfers, and cash transfers.
This item will be referred to the Public Safety and Justice Affairs Committee.
Resolution 2022-0423, authorizing an amendment to a contract with Maple Heights Commerce II, LLC, for lease of space of Satellite Office Number 3, located at 21100 Southgate Park in the city of Maple Heights, for the period February 1st, 2007 through December 31st, 2022, to extend the time period to December 31st, 2027, effective January 1st, 2023, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $385,950.
This item will be referred to the Public Works Procurement and Contracting Committee.
Resolution 2022-0424, making an award on requisition 8691 to Karen Ganofsky, DVM, in the amount not to exceed $550,000 for medical treatment for canines at the Cuyahoga County Animal Shelter, effective upon contract signatures of all parties for a period of 3 years.
This item will be referred to the Public Works Procurement and Contracting Committee.
Resolution 2022-0425, making an award on requisition 10100 to Wadsworth and Associates, Inc., in the amount not to exceed $689,800 for phased installation of uninterruptible power sources at the Juvenile Justice Center, effective upon contract signature of all parties for a period of 12 months.
This item will be referred to the Public Works Procurement and Contracting Committee.
Resolution 2022-0426, making an award on requisition 9647 to KS Associates, Inc., in the amount not to exceed $700,000 for preliminary engineering design services for various FEMA lakefront sites, effective upon contract signature of all parties through December 31st, 2025.
This item will be referred to the Public Works Procurement and Contracting Committee.
Resolution 2022-0427, making an award on requisition 10237 to GHD Services, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $1,400,000 for professional engineering design services for the Gold Coast Lakefront Multimodal Facility Project in the City of Lakewood, effective upon contract signature of all parties through December 31st, 2024.
This item will be referred to the Public Works Procurement and Contracting Committee.
Resolution 2022-0429, authorizing an economic development loan in the amount not to exceed $1,200,000 to J. Hess Holdings, Inc., or its designee for acquisition and renovation of a vacant building located at 9200 Noble Drive in the city of Brecksville, to be used as headquarters for Physicians Ambulance Service, Inc.
This item will be referred to the Economic Development and Planning Committee.
Resolution 2022-0430, authorizing an award to the Cleveland Foundation in the total amount not to exceed $5 million for the Opioid Innovation Project Fund of the Cleveland Foundation, commencing upon contract signature of all parties.
This item will be referred to the Economic Development and Planning Committee.
Resolution 2022-0431, authorizing affordable housing loans to various organizations in the total amount not to exceed $2,500,000 for the Affordable Housing Gap Financing Program for the various organizations listed A through D.
This item will be referred to the Community Development Committee.
Resolution 2022-0432, authorizing amendments to an agreement and contracts with the Comprehensive Case Management and Employment Program, Employment Education and Training Services for Young Adults in connection with the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act for the period July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2023, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $7,350,000, items A through E.
This item will be referred to the Education, Environment, and Sustainability Committee.
Resolution 2022-0433, authorizing an amendment to a contract with United Labor Agency, Incorporated, for operation of the Workforce Service Center, job seekers and employer services, and management of the on-the-job training program for the period July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2022, to extend the time period to June 30th, 2023, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $3,059,563.47.
This item will be referred to the Education, Environment, and Sustainability Committee.
Resolution 2022-0434, authorizing a grant award with College Now Greater Cleveland, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $1 million for the disbursement and monitoring of funds as fiscal agent for Say Yes Cleveland, commencing upon agreement signature of all parties through July 23rd, 2023.
This item will be referred to the Education, Environment, and Sustainability Committee.
Resolution 2022-0435, making an award on requisition 7603 to Canopy Child Advocacy in the amount not to exceed $5,800,000 for implementation of a child protection teams model to address and prevent child abuse in Cuyahoga County for the period January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2025.
This item will be referred to the Health, Human Services, and Aging Committee.
Resolution 2022-0436, making an award on requisition 9347 with Strata Collaborative doing business as Inside Track in the amount not to exceed $2,500,000 for coaching services to Ohio National Guard scholarship recipients for the Pay for Success program for the period October 1st, 2022 through April 14th, 2030.
And this item will be referred to the Health, Human Services, and Aging Committee.
Resolution 2022-0437, making an award on requisition 116 to Belfair Jewish Children's Bureau in the amount not to exceed $504,000 for mentoring services for youth in permanent custody of the Division of Children and Family Services for the period October 1st, 2022 through September 30th, 2024.
This item will be referred to the Health, Human Services, and Aging Committee.
Resolution 2022-0438, authorizing an amendment to a master contract with various providers for SNAP to Skills Employment and Training Services for the period October 1st, 2020 through September 30th, 2022, to extend the time period to September 30th, 2023, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $1,414,475, items A through G.
This item will be referred to the Health, Human Services, and Aging Committee.
Resolution 2022-0439, authorizing an amendment to a contract with Lutheran Metropolitan Ministry for adult guardianship services for the period January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2022, to extend the time period to December 31st, 2023, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $605,285.
This item will be referred to the Health, Human Services, and Aging Committee.
Resolution 2022-0440, making an award on requisition 10161 with various providers in the total amount not to exceed $6,468,017.08 for the Ohio Works First program for the period January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2023.
This item will be referred to the Health, Human Services, and Aging Committee. Committee reports and consideration of resolutions for second reading.
Resolution 2022-0401, adopting the 2022-2023 biennial operating budget and capital improvements program. Annual update for 2023.
This item will move to the December 6th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2022-0405, authorizing Cuyahoga County matching fund forgivable loans to various organizations in the total amount not to exceed $5 million for various projects in connection with the State of Ohio Brownfield Remediation Funding Match Program. And it's for the period, excuse me, December 1st, 2022 through November 30th, 2025, for the various organizations, A through R, as listed on the agenda.
This item will move to the December 6th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
And at this time, Councilmember Gallagher has requested his name be added as a sponsor.
Add Councilman Gallagher's name.
Resolution 2022-0408, authorizing an amendment to a contract with Med Mutual Life Insurance Company for group life, voluntary life, and accidental death insurance for county employees for the period January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2022, to extend the time period to December 31st, 2023, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $1,871,168.
This item will move to the December 6th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2022-0409, making an award on requisition 9686 to Vision Service Plan in the amount not to exceed $1,500,000 for vision insurance for county employees and their eligible dependents for the period January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2025.
This item will move to the December 6th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2022-0410, making an award on requisition 9659 to Delta Dental Plan of Ohio, Inc., in the amount not to exceed $9 million for dental insurance for county employees and their eligible dependents for the period January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2025.
This item will move to the December 6th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2022-0411, making an award on requisition 9575 to Alliant Insurance Services, Inc., in the amount not to exceed $4,648,940 for insurance brokerage and risk management services for the period January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2024.
This item will move to the December 6th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2022-0412, adopting the Cuyahoga County 2022 through 2027 All Hazards Mitigation Plan.
This item will move to the December 6th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption. Committee reports and consideration of resolutions for second reading adoption under suspension of rules. Can I have a motion to suspend the rules?
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All in favor of suspending the rules, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2022-0402, declaring that public convenience and welfare requires the rehabilitation of Smith Road from Sheldon Road to Pearl Road in the city of Middleburg Heights. Total estimated project cost, $2 million.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
And, Mr. President, this came before Public Works Committee on November 16, 2022. This project will run on Smith Road between Sheldon and Pearl Road in Middleburg Heights. It's approximately 1.1 miles involving pavement removal. There's over 10,000 vehicles per day on this particular stretch of road with a total cost of $2 million, 80% of that coming from the county at $1.6 million and 20% through the city of Middleburg Heights at $400,000. Approximate start date is 2023 and finishes spring of 2024. And I would ask for my colleagues' support on moving this project through on suspension of the rules. I know the mayor of Middleburg Heights would like to get this going as well, so I'd appreciate your support.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2022-0403, making an award on requisition 10548 to Perk Company Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $3,554,102.65 for the resurfacing of South Green Road from Cedar Road to Mayfield Road in the city of South Euclid in connection with the fiscal year 2021 through 2024 Transportation Improvement Program.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
And, Mr. President, this was discussed at the same November 16th meeting. The estimated start date here is January of 2023. Estimated finish is 11 of 2023, covering 1.26 stretch of the road. It's 76% federal funding, 12% county road and bridge funding, and 12% city of South Euclid, so it's a true partnership. And I would ask for my colleagues moving this forward so they can start this project as soon as possible.
Mr. President, I'd like to have my name.
To add Councilman Simon's name. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2022-0404, making an award on requisition 10101 to Cold Harbor Building Company in the amount not to exceed $2,248,500 for the purchase of replacement generators located at the Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner's Building.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
And, Mr. President, the members of the Public Works came before the Public Works Committee on November 16, 2022 to discuss this project. This is coming out of 100% of the capital project fund, and the project will involve demolition of the existing generator and ductwork and installation of 2 diesel generators, a new HVAC system, and new lighting at the medical examiner's office. This came in under bid and was the lowest and best bid. It'll take about a year to complete. The current generator is about 30 years old and generally has a lifespan of 25 to 30 years, so this is something that they really want to get moving on. It impacts emergency situations with refrigeration and such down at the medical examiner's office, so I'd ask my colleagues' support moving this forward. It takes a long time to get this process going, from what I understand, with the generator.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2022-0406, authorizing an award to Nexum, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $709,482.35 for the purchase of Palo Alto Networks hardware licenses and subscription services for 4 firewalls for a period of 3 years.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, my colleagues, this resolution is from this afternoon's Committee of the Whole. It's for $709,482 contract with Nexum to purchase Palo Alto Networks hardware licenses and subscriptions that are required to enhance our IT security. I recommend passage on second reading suspension.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2022-0407, authorizing an amendment to a contract with Microsoft Corporation for Microsoft Premier Training and Support Services for the period November 1st, 2017 through December 5th, 2022, to extend the time period to December 5th, 2023, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $685,267.
Move to adopt. Mr. President, my colleagues, this also is from this afternoon. It's for a one-year contract extension with Microsoft for $685,267 for training and support. I recommend passage on second reading suspension.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2022-0413, making an award on requisition 10389 to Mental Health Services for Homeless Persons, Inc., doing business as Frontline Service, in the amount not to exceed $868,300 for the Children Who Witness Violence program for the period December 1st, 2022 through November 30th, 2024.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, this legislation was heard on November 16th in committee. The primary goal of this project is to utilize a qualified behavioral health agency capable of providing services to children and their families who witness violence as identified and referred by law enforcement agencies. I ask my colleagues for their support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2022-0415, making an award on requisition 7099 to Emerald Development and Economic Network, Inc., in the amount not to exceed $1,935,300 for rapid rehousing services for the period January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2023.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, this also was heard in committee on November 16th, the regular scheduled time. The primary goal of this project is to provide short-term rental assistance and move people from homelessness into housing quickly while providing supportive services. I ask my colleagues for their support.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Consideration of resolutions for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2022-0344, making an award on requisition 7934 to Patrick Engineering, Inc., in the amount not to exceed $759,926 for engineering services for the replacement of Shaft Road, bridge number 02.89, over the West Creek in the City of Independence, effective upon contract signature of all parties through October 31st, 2025.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
And, Mr. President, this was heard before Public Works on October 19th, 2022. It's going to be 100% funded from the county's road and bridge fund. The original engineer's estimate was $600,000, and the total cost project is approximately $2 to $2.5 million. Of course, the costs keep going up, as we understand, since COVID. Again, it's out of the 100% of the county's road and bridge fund, and this is critical to have this bridge taken care of. It's in the Mr. Schron's district, and I would ask for my colleagues' support on this.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2022-0384, making an award on a purchase order to the safety company doing business as MTech Company in the amount not to exceed $606,647 for a state contract purchase of one 2023 Gap Vax combination jet vac truck for the Sanitary Engineering Division.
Motion to adopt?
Second.
Yes, Mr. President, this was heard before the Public Works on November 2nd, 2022. The thing about these jets are they're heated. There's parts on the jets that are heated, allowing greater use in winter months. We contract with 25 cities, and the county runs the jet on their sewer lines and sucks out the blockages. It's a 5 to 8 year expected lifespan, and the county runs them longer than that. And this will be our first heated vac, and they want to see how this goes to see if this go cut through and allow more longevity during the winter months and cold months to get some of these sewers cleaned out. So I would ask for my colleagues' support on this resolution. Thank you.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2022-0388, authorizing an amendment to a contract with Alcohol, Drug Addiction, and Mental Health Services Board for the Mental Health and Substance Abuse Addiction Diversion Center for the period December 8th, 2020 through December 31st, 2022, to extend the time period to December 31st, 2023, to expand the scope of services effective upon contract signature of all parties, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $4,363,012.
Move to adopt.
Second, Simon.
Mr. President, this was heard in committee, and these are the necessary funds as stated in the legislation to run our diversion center.
Mr. President,
Councilman.
may I have my name added, please?
Councilman Miller's name.
Mine as well.
Councilman Sweeney's name.
Thank you.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2022-0389, authorizing an amendment to a master contract with various municipalities and providers for various services for the Community Social Services Program for the period January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2023, to change the terms and scope of services for the original providers to add providers effective July 1st, 2022, and for additional funds. Hold on.
Are you done? Move to adopt.
No, I'm not done yet.
Oh, I
For additional
think so.
funds, I had to turn the page. In the total amount not to exceed $939,854.76, and to remove Eliza Bryant Village effective August 31st, 2022 for the items A through double H.
To adopt?
Second. Did you say second, Simon?
Yes.
Mouthful.
Mr. President, the legislation was heard in the Health and Human Services Committee. It's very important because it impacts our senior residents across Cuyahoga County, various communities, and so I ask for my colleagues' support.
Right, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Council President, if you could turn to page 25.
Right. Committee report in consideration of an ordinance for second reading.
Ordinance 2022-0007, enacting Chapter 703 of the Cuyahoga County Code, establishing a Justice Center Capital Projects Fund in accordance with Ohio Revised Code, Section 5705.13.
All right, this item will move to the December 6th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
And I'd also like to add that it was amended as substituted in the Committee of the Whole. So also, we are authorizing the fiscal office to transfer $53,609 and, I'm sorry, $53,609 and 700, what is it? This doesn't look right. $53,609.
53 million.
53 million, I'm so sorry, $53,609,757 into the Justice Center Capital Projects Fund.
All right.
Now, can we get the vote again?
This is not a voting item.
I'm sorry. I just didn't hear him say that. I'm sorry. Can we, the referring?
Okay, I will repeat it. This item
Thank
will
you.
move to the December 6th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Thank you.
Committee report in consideration of an ordinance for second reading adoption under suspension of rules. Can I have a
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded. All in favor of suspending the rules, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. The rules are suspended.
Ordinance 2022-0010, providing for adoption of modifications of Cuyahoga County non-bargaining salary Schedule A and authorizing various salary changes for unclassified employees.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, this was thoroughly discussed and vetted in committee, and this, as the caption states, is for our non-bargaining salaried employees. And the ultimate goal here was to take a holistic approach to employee compensation and to administer a fair and equitable compensation program that included both direct and indirect compensation. The committee unanimously supported moving forward.
Mr. President,
Councilman Miller.
the legislation clearly moves us forward toward a more equitable system, and I'd like to have my name added, please.
Councilman Miller's name.
Mr. President,
Yes.
can I also get a clarification of who seconded the motion?
Who did second the motion?
I seconded.
Thank you.
Second, okay. All right. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. All right, at this time, we will have our miscellaneous committee reports. Are there any committee reports?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Health and Human Services will address these items on Tuesday, November 29th. That's a new time at 3 p.m. Thank you, Councilman Sweeney, for utilizing your time slot. And then on Wednesday, November 30th, the regularly scheduled Health and Human Services Committee will convene at 1 o'clock.
Mr. President, Public Works will meet at its regularly scheduled time next week. Thank you.
And safety, Tuesday, 1 o'clock.
Mr. President, Economic Development will be working with Mr. Hurdick to coordinate with all the people that we need to have, and we'll try and lock down a date.
Mr. President?
Yes.
Education, Environment, Sustainability, it's time on Wednesday, the 30th at 3 for the items referred today.
All right, any others?
Mr. President?
Yes, Councilman.
There were two finance-related items referred today, but they were referred to the Committee of the Whole. So there will be no finance and budget, but you should watch for the Council President's announcement for the time on the Committee of the Whole.
All right. Any other reports?
Mr. President?
Yes.
I was amidst our last council meeting. I wanted to congratulate Council Vice President Stevens on her campaign for Lieutenant Governor. It took a lot of guts to traverse the state, and I really appreciate what you've done to represent us here on County Council and the work you did. It's hard, I'm sure, to be every place at once through the state.
Thank you for that. All right. Are there any other reports? The Committee of the Whole will meet December 6th, and there will be, to be determined, ethics training. Any other reports?
So again, just as a reminder, council members, mandatory ethics trainings will take place at the end of the December 6th Committee of the Whole meeting.
All right.
Do you have a time yet? He didn't.
They're still working on the time.
The time
That
to be
still has
determined.
Yes.
Are you adjourning? Because people are getting up.
All right. Okay. Nothing else holds our attention. Our meeting is adjourned.